Good morning, this is Jack from Charting the Markets, and this is a pre-market webinar for the morning of Friday, the 25th of April. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some of what I'm doing, learn from, try to spare share in charts. I'm not here to issue trading signals. Right. Okay, we've got a little bit of, we saw some decent progress to the upside yesterday. We saw some breaks over the daily middle band yesterday, which was good. We've got a week 60-minute sell signal fixed on ES here, and I've got a week 1 fixed on NQ. These are more than half the way from target to target without actually losing much, and I'm leaning towards not going down a great deal yesterday, because I would like to see the breaks over the daily middle band yesterday consolidate, but I'll come to those on the RTH charts. On RTY, no current negative divergence. YM, no current negative divergence. Tax, we've got an existing 60-minute sell signal that had already fixed, and ESTX, we've now got a 60-minute sell signal on there too. I'm leaning towards seeing a consolidation day today, so we will see how that goes. I don't think we're done to the upside, and I've got obviously still targets for the upside. We shall see. All right, great. Let's have a look at the bigger picture charts. All right then. Okay, ES. We saw a clear break over the daily middle band. In effect, we had closed on the daily middle band and then, or slightly under it, and we saw a open above it and a strong move up yesterday. We broke over declining resistance. On SPX, we haven't broken over declining resistance yet, but we had the same move over the daily middle band. In terms of the Qs, we saw a decent solid move away from the daily middle band and through declining resistance. On Dow, we got to close on daily middle band because this was significantly below it the day before. So yesterday it closed very, very well, basically on it. That's not a break yet, but it's promising. We will see how that goes. On IWM, we have seen a consolidation above and then a move above. We still have resistance at this declining resistance trend line, and I'm watching that carefully because obviously that could hold. But if you look at it much closer here, sorry, I'm just going to just have a quick look at this on a more exact 15-minute chart basis. If you look here, we have broken it twice, so I think that's gone. And I think that's opening up higher targets. We will see how that goes. All right, looking at the smaller picture chart, obviously you've got IWM here. I've got this next trend line that I've been looking for, which would be the ideal bear flag trend line. I'm currently in about the 199 area and rising. If we look at the others on SPX, we've broken over the declining resistance now, which is great. We're over the daily middle band, which is great. We're at the first IHS target. The first head and shoulder target is always the top of the preceding trend, or bottom of the preceding trend, if it's head and shoulders rather than IHS. That's at 54.81, and we got to that yesterday. We do have an extended target slightly higher, but the main target has now been reached. On the Qs, we made the IHS target as well. So we've got a higher target up here, currently in about the 482 area. So depends when we reached it, but I'm thinking at the moment that subject to news, it will be next week. On SPX, that target, of course, is currently in about 56.25 area. Looking at Dow, we got an IHS2 that has also broken up. That hasn't made target yet. This has been more muted on the upside. Wondering how much of that is due to Boeing. Well, the Boeing chart's not looking that bad actually. I'm going to start working up. I'm adding more charts every week. So one of the things I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be basically breaking down the whole Dow. And looking at that, Boeing has a very interesting triangle. We're likely to see some more downside there, but we'll see how that goes. But for now, we haven't made a higher high on Dow, and I'm still expecting to see one. I've got the obvious target up here in about the 411 area, so we shall see. All right, great. So on the bigger picture, everything is on track for what I was talking about with the flags a week ago. So we will see. All right, great. We've got on DX, we're still seeing a bit of a rally here. I am wondering if a possible inverted head and shoulders might be forming here and whether we're putting the right shoulder in all that now. We do have scope for more upside here. And there's something I want to talk about because we We've seen a huge change, which is going to be very significant in the last week or so, and that is that Trump is now concerned about what's happening on the market. When we saw that big decline a few weeks ago, then he was saying, "Oh well, there will be some temporary pain, and not really watching the market, and who cares what happens, and all this sort of stuff." That's changed. He's now walked back his talk about sacking Jerome Powell, and he seems to be much more sensitive to how things are playing out. That's going to make some interesting changes. I'm still mulling that over, but I'm keeping an open mind on the pattern set up, and I'm by no means married to any scenario over the next few weeks. But that is going to change things, because we have very much been seeing the thing about Trump doesn't care about the markets and makes announcements that upset the markets, and the market goes down heavily, and then he starts walking those back, and then the market goes up. And that's very much a strong pattern we've seen so far this year. We may see some significant changes on the tariff policies over the next few weeks if this continues to be the case. And that could very, very much change what's likely to happen over the rest of this year. I don't think it's going to make this year particularly bullish, but it could make this year a lot less bearish. Although, obviously, we're going to have the effect of having economic numbers coming out over the next few weeks and months. And I suspect quite a lot of economic damage has already been done. We'll see how that goes, but that is one thing which has really changed in the last couple of weeks. We'll see how that develops. Okay, ZB. I was talking about expecting to see higher. I'm still expecting to see higher. I've kind of got penciled in maybe the 117 area, maybe the monthly pivot area at 117.12. And forming a flag, and that should make the 60-minute sell signal on TNX before this likely goes down again. I'm before all this tariff stuff, well, before the extent of how it became clear how serious Trump was about all this tariff stuff, I was talking about there being even odds of being a bonds crisis this year. There are still high odds of being a bonds crisis. So we'll see how that develops, but I'm really leaning pretty short on ZB. CL, I've been talking about this possible head and shoulders that might be developing here, and that looks nice. That really does look nice. If we see a sustained break below 62.69, then that will probably get down to 58 and invalidate this IHS, which is broken up, and that would have a target down in the 54.5 area. I'm still leaning towards some economic contraction over the next few weeks. I wouldn't be at all surprised to see that. So keep watching, and we'll see how that develops. On NG, we've got this really, really tight falling wedge here, which I'm watching. And actually, it's better than it appears there, because it's annoying when my trigger lines move, but they sometimes do. And that is a really, really nice falling wedge. I'm expecting this to break up into at least a retracement soon. Whether it'll be more than that, I don't know. I think we are going to see some economic contraction and certainly an economic slowdown. And as I said, that doesn't tend to be good for energy. So I'm not saying that's going to reverse this trend, but I'm thinking we're probably going to see a bounce soon. And we've still got a 60-minute buy signal fixed. On GC, I'm wondering here, because you could draw this. If you look here, this could be actually a very nice alternate right shoulder on a neckline, which would go like that. I am wondering about this is more supportive of a larger retracement on gold here. I would like to see a move a bit higher on gold to kill that off. But I mean, we are seeing the market rallying here. One of the reasons that gold has been going up so much is because it's a flight to safety trade, and at the moment the market's feeling relatively safe. So if we are going to see a retracement, this isn't a bad time to see that, and I am wondering about this. So we could see a significant retracement here. If we did, that would basically have a target down in the monthly pivot area 3066. On SI, SI could be topping out here short term. Don't have any obvious resistance trend lines. Palladium, still wondering whether we're going to see this head and shoulders fail. It hasn't failed yet, in which case we would have a target down here at about the 904 area. On platinum, we've got a weak 60-minute sell signal is fixed and has made target. Haven't quite made it to the full rejection and retest of this high that we should be seeing. here, so and that's why I've still got the downside arrow in here, but I'm not expecting that to play out. I'm expecting to make this. That could be the second high of a double top when we get there, though. On HG, we've got a rising wedge, fairly decent one that has broken down, but this looks like a bull flag forming. If it is a bull flag forming, we should see a retest of the high, and we could see some continuation higher. I'm slightly mystified as how strong copper has been, but we're still in retracement area here, or potentially larger bull flag area. On euro, nothing really much to see, or indeed on any of the currencies. KC, we've made the IHS target now. And I'm leaning towards seeing a follow-through target at a retest of this high here, and I've got that in about the 417 area. On SB, this still looks like a bear flag forming. On CC, this is still a very nice-looking double bottom here. Sustained break up over the 95 area would look for a target in about the 11,300 area. On ZW, I'm still leaning towards seeing a retest of the low. On corn, could this still be a bear flag? Maybe. 60-minute buy signals made target though, and I'm thinking the obvious next move is a little fail here, so we'll see how that develops. On soy, soy is continuing to go higher. Could be topping action here. Nothing much to indicate it. We've got a 60-minute sell signal, which a weak one, which is just fixed. On CT, we've got a full-size 60-minute sell signal, which is fixed. I'm wondering about this being a potential level top. A sustained break below 68 would be looking for a target, which would be in about the 66.25 area. On lumber, still a potential looking double bottom, still doing absolutely nothing. Live cattle has made the full target of the retest, made the IHS target, made the full target of the retest this high, and is not showing any signs of reversing at the moment. On lean hogs, could be breaking down for a little head and shoulders. We've now got an RSI 14 sell signal that's fixed and reconfirmed, wondering about more downside. And on soybean oil, we've got a little 60-minute sell signal, weak 60-minute sell signal, which is trying to fix. And I'm thinking we may well see some retracement. All right, great. Let's have a look at questions. Of which we have none. Okay, I'm leaning towards seeing a bit of consolidation today, a quiet Friday, and then after that, I'm looking for more upside targets. What I would like to see today is SPX and NDX, particularly, close above the daily middle bands. I would not like to see a strong rejection below those daily middle bands. That would suggest more downside next week, and we've still got upside targets to make. We will see how it goes. Are we going to form bear flags if Trump is being more market friendly? Yes, I think we probably are, because I'd still be leaning towards seeing retests of the lows. But we could see the rest of the next few months playing out rather differently. If he's now going to be responsive, he's now worried about what the market's doing. Giving that some thought, and I'm going to be bearing that in mind when I'm watching pattern setups, but at the moment, nothing really has changed. So we shall see. Everyone have a wonderful weekend, and TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. All right, cheers, guys. I will catch you on Monday morning.